Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Open Book Live premiere. Make sure you hit that like button and let everyone know that we are live. Okay. I hope everyone has had a fabulous day today. Ooh, I was chewing something. I shouldn't have done that. But welcome everyone. Shout out to all of the mods in the building. Also, special shout out to all of the members who are lit up in green. All right, y'all. So we're gonna get into something, okay? Um, Many of you may or may not know Selena Quintanilla, okay? I remember when I was in high school in Houston, she was coming to perform, and I had a friend that attended school, and so she was telling me that she was going to a concert at the rodeo, okay, with Selena. So I was like, who is Selena? I never knew who she was until y'all of her untimely and unexpected murder, y'all know what I mean, by none other than Yolanda Saldivar. And we're going to learn more about who she is. And then I remember the movie coming out with Jennifer Lopez playing Selena. And that was the first time that I was introduced to her story on that movie. And so I was like, man, and y'all, even my husband will tell y'all that every time Selena comes on, I'm watching it. Okay. I love that movie. But Selena Quintanilla was a very beautiful Tejano singer. Okay. And I want to show you all a short video explaining more of her background and her story.
Selena was one of the most celebrated and influential Latin artists of the 90s, but her life and career were cut tragically short. Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're taking a look at the tragic story of Selena Quintanilla Perez. In 2020, Netflix is bringing her heartbreaking saga to the screen as Selena the Series, with The Walking Dead star Christian Serratos in the lead role. And judging by the trailer, she's a dead ringer. In preparation for the show, we're giving you the rundown of the famed artist's life and her untimely death. Born in 1971 in the Texas city of Lake Jackson, Selena showed signs of musical talent from a young age. Though raised English-speaking, Selena was encouraged to sing in Spanish by her Mexican-American father in order to better connect with her heritage and the Latin American community in and around Texas. At first, she sang Spanish lyrics phonetically, but later became fluent. With her siblings Abraham III on bass and Suzette on drums, the family band played at their father's Mexican restaurant until the establishment was forced to close in the wake of recession. Bankrupt, the family moved to Corpus Christi, Texas, and sought new beginnings. Now called Selena y los Dinos, the family band brought in money with small local gigs.
When they first told us that we were nominated, we all freaked out. We couldn't believe it.
As Selena's popularity grew, so did her workload. In 1984, the band recorded their first LP, titled Mis Primeras Grabaciones, in the Tejano music style. After signing with EMI Latin, Selena released her self-titled debut album that same year, and landed her the Female Vocalist and Female Entertainer of the Year honors at the 1990 Tejano Music Awards.
Thank you so much. There's so many people I'd like to thank. I'd like to thank, first of all, my family.
Around this time, Selena's future husband Chris Perez joined her band as a guitarist.
To Chris Perez, Selena's guitarist and later her husband, she was the love of his life.
The two fell in love but hid their relationship from Selena's father, fearing that he wouldn't allow his daughter's focus to stray from her music. In 1990, Selena released her second album, Ven Conmigo. The single Baila Esta Cumbia was a huge hit in Mexico and is widely considered one of her greatest songs. The album went gold a year later, selling over 50,000 units, and is now certified triple platinum, with over 180,000 sold. With Selena's rise in popularity and promise as a commercial star, a fan named Yolanda Saldivar asked Abraham Quintanilla Jr. if she could create an official Selena fan club in San Antonio, Texas. The club went on to become such a success that Saldívar became a close and trusted friend of the family. In response, he threatened to disband the band, and when his strong-arm tactics failed to stop them from seeing each other, he fired Perez as guitarist. So, in April of '92, the lovers eloped.
There has been incidents like this. They get married and say, well, you're not going to sing no more. And all the work, all the sacrifice that we've done will go down the tube.
The news of his daughter's marriage hit Quintanilla Jr. hard, and he distanced himself from friends and family for a time, but ultimately had a change of heart, apologized, and welcomed Perez back into the band. All this family drama thankfully wrapped up just in time for the release of Selena's third album, Entre a mi mundo, in May. This would prove to be her breakout album, especially in Mexico, as Selena became the first female Tejano singer to sell over 300,000 album copies. The following year, her live album, Selena Live, won her a Grammy for Best Mexican American Album, and was named Album of the Year at the Billboard Latin Music Awards. By 1994, Selena had become an icon for young Hispanic women, so she capitalized on her fame by opening a boutique called Selena Etc., and began designing her own clothing line. Riding a newfound wave of commercial success, Selena dropped her fourth album, Amor Prohibido, that same year, and it quickly became one of the best-selling Latin albums in the US, bringing the Tejano genre to a broader and much younger audience than ever before. She was even hailed as the queen of Tejano music.
And once again, to all the fans, thank you for making this possible. We love you. Thank you. Gracias.
To help her run her business ventures, Selena relied on one person in particular, Yolanda Saldívar. Due to the success of the fan club, Saldívar was assigned to oversee Selena's boutiques and made her agent. Due to her increased responsibility, Yolanda relocated in order to be closer to Selena, moving from San Antonio to Corpus Christi, Texas. But with Saldívar at the helm, the boutiques began to struggle. Her penchant for firing people she disliked caused concern among employees, but their warnings to Selena fell on deaf ears. Her father, however, investigated their claims, along with concerns from members of Selena's fan club. In 1995, he discovered that Saldívar had embezzled $30,000 from the fan club and boutiques. He threatened to report Saldívar to the police, requested financial records for the businesses, and warned Selena to stay away from her.
My last words with her was that I was going to go to the police to see what we could do, to charge her with something.
However, Selena failed to heed her father's advice, deeming Saldívar too important for the boutiques to dismiss.
You mean so much to me. I bought you a little present.
Yolanda. You shouldn't have done that. Oh my gosh. That is so beautiful. A ring with an egg.
After Saldívar failed to deliver the requested financial records, Selena confronted her in her hotel room on March 31st, 1995. Saldívar responded by pulling a gun on Selena and shooting her in the right shoulder as the singer fled. Selena was able to make it to the lobby, leaving a long trail of blood, but later died from blood loss and cardiac arrest.
Great. The new GoDaddy Arrow has AI marketing tools to help small.
Attempting to flee the scene of the crime, Saldívar was stopped by police and engaged in a 9-hour standoff before finally entering custody.
It all came to a sudden and tragic end when she was shot by the woman who started her fan club 20 years ago, murdered just before she was set to perform in LA.
In the short time of just over 1 year, Yolanda Saldívar went from trusted friend of the Quintanilla family to the murderer of Quintanilla Jr.'s youngest child. She would be charged with first-degree murder in 1995 and sentenced to life in prison with no chance for parole for 30 years.
She was given a life sentence. That's 30 years before a chance of parole. Saldívar will spend those years in a Texas women's prison under heavy guard.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Selena's death sent shockwaves through the Latin American community and the entire United States. Her death made front-page news, and over 60,000 mourners attended her funeral. It's difficult to overstate her lasting impact on music, especially after such a short career.
She was a Grammy-winning, undisputed queen of Tejano music.
Hailed as one of the most influential Latin artists of all time, She's credited with popularizing Latin music as a whole and breaking barriers for Latin American artists.
In the last year of her life, she was a millionaire who was on the verge of a crossover career.
In fact, her final album, Dreaming of You, which was released posthumously in 1995, became the fastest-selling American album of that year. Warner Brothers later brought Selena's life story to the big screen in 1997, with a young Jennifer Lopez in. While Selena's life was brought to a sudden end, fans of the Queen of Tejano have not forgotten the impact her music made on their lives, and the barriers she broke for Latin American women in the United States.
Basically what she would want to be remembered for is her music.
And some of her biggest hits released after her death.
Because that's what was her main source of pride and joy.
And with the upcoming Netflix series set to be released in 2020, we're thankful that Selena will be able to reintroduce herself to a whole new generation. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this.
Oh my goodness, y'all. She did so much in such a short amount of time. She was 23 years old when she passed away from the gunshot wound. My family and I, we actually went to Corpus Christi, I think about 2 years ago, and we were able to visit the museum that they have in her honor, the grave site. And when I tell you, oh my gosh, y'all, it gave me goosebumps. Okay, they even have the car that her and Chris were in. And you see it in the movie and so forth, but they have the car there. They have their bus that they traveled on there. But her outfits, y'all, it was such an awesome experience. And you can feel the peace when you go to her gravesite. But her life ended tragically. But at the same time, the good part of that is she did a lot. She got married, although they eloped, I think, and it was a blessing in disguise because she didn't have much time after that. She won her Grammy Award. She was about to do this crossover album, and it sold a lot of records, even when it was released after her death. And so I really, really enjoyed just learning about who she was, even through the movie, and then just coming to know more about her story. Now, y'all, remember it talked about Yolanda Saldivar, okay, which was the president of her fan club. Now, y'all, it shows that people that are close to you may not necessarily have your best interest at heart all of the time. This lady was embezzling money and so forth, but Selena had such a big heart. She didn't want the lady to go to jail and so forth. And so she was going to meet up with her to get some paperwork. Now, originally her and her husband were going to go together, but Selena went by herself. And as she was about to leave out of that room, Yolanda shot her, and Selena was able to run to the front desk of the hotel and let them know who shot her, and she passed out, and then ultimately she passed away. Now, Yolanda was sentenced to life. Okay, let me move this banner. She was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole. Hold on one second, y'all. With the possibility of parole after 30 years. The 30 years has arrived. Can you believe it's already been 30 years? Okay, so Selena was 23 when she was shot at this Texas hotel room, and it was on March 31st, 1995, which the 30-year anniversary will pretty much take place this upcoming Monday, which is March 31st. That's also my brother's birthday. And so I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be a lot of people that are even visiting that hotel. I don't know if they allow them to come and put flowers and things of that sort in remembrance of her. And she was shot by Yolanda, okay, who was the former president of her fan club. Now, this past Thursday, which was yesterday, she was up for parole. And the Texas Board of Pardons and Parole announced in a statement that Saldivar's parole had been denied. Okay. And this is what they stated. Well, let me go to what they stated, and then I'm going to go to what the family stated as well, because they have spoken out. Okay. So, in explaining the decision, the board said in a statement that the panel found that Saldivar continues to pose a threat to public safety. And it was also said that the nature of the crime indicated a conscious disregard for the lives, safety, or property of others. Okay. Now she'll be eligible to be reviewed again for parole in 5 years. Okay, so 5 more years she can come back again. Y'all, I don't think it'll be a difference between now and 5 years. Okay, because of the reason of them denying it, it just seems like the nature is still going to be the same. Okay, all of that will still be the same. I don't even know if she has good behavior, if they'll consider that. I don't know, because they still think she's a threat. And some people were even under the comments of some of the articles saying that they were doing that for her protection too, because they know if she gets out, she will probably be up out of here. And y'all know what I mean. Okay. Street justice. Okay. Now the family did speak out, the Quintanilla family, and they said, today we are grateful that the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles has chosen to deny parole for Yolanda Saldivar. And then, while nothing can bring Selena back, this decision reaffirms that justice continues to stand for the beautiful life that was taken from us and from millions of fans around the world far too soon. She lived with joy, gave selflessly, and continues to uplift generations with her voice and her spirit. And so, whew, y'all, I know that that is hard. It was one of, I think, even although it was a movie that I watched, but then of course I've seen other real life Selena videos. She did seem like a person with a heart of gold. She dreamed big, and she loved her fans and her family. Seemed like she had a big heart. And it made me sad. I'll be honest, it made me sad how her life just was taken drastically, and she was so young. And so my prayers and my heart goes out to the family of Selena as they continue to remember her. I'm glad that justice was served, and that Yolanda, she's still in jail, okay, for the crime that she committed. Prayer for her too, because something, in my opinion, y'all. Now this this is my opinion. That lady, they need to see if she needs some counseling, okay, for some of the things that she stated during her interviews and so forth. Like, I don't know, it's just, it was a weird connection that she had to Selena, and I hate, because Selena cared for her, how she took her life like that. It just really makes me sad. So my prayers and my heart go out to that family. But I'm glad that they, continuing to get this good news. Okay. But that is all that I have for today, y'all. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out if you did not hit it coming in. Also, make sure you subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell, because you never know when I'm going to go live. Thank you, and y'all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.